Hello, and we are back. Okay, let me get this out of the way. All right, so it is now Thursday, and we are going to be continuing with exponential and logarithmic functions. So make sure if you have any questions at all on any of your homework, contact your teacher. And all teachers have their office hours up and about, so get a hold of your teacher so you can get some help before the next quiz. All right, so today we're going to look at inverse properties. And our first property that you need to be familiar with is log base b of b to the x equals x. So what this is saying is if my base for my log and my base for my exponent are the same, my answer will come out to be whatever is in that exponent. So the bases must be the same to get that x value. Same is true if I have the base of the exponential to the log with the base of x. If these bases are the same, my answer turns out to be my x value. So let's look at these next ones to simplify. It's log base 2 of 2 to the 7th power. Here's the base for my log. Here's the base for my exponential. If they are the same, which they are, my answer turns out to be my exponent, which is 7. Okay, our next example goes with our second inverse property. If the base of the exponential to the log base of 3, if these bases are the same, your answer turns out to be 3. How do we do with that? Okay, we're going to get a little bit more difficult. Let's simplify these. 10 to the log of 6x. Well, we have to have the bases be the same. So this can be rewritten as 10 to the log. If there is no base on a log, it is 10 of 6x. Are my bases the same? Yes. So my answer is 6x. All right, looking at the next one. The natural log of e to the x minus 1. Well, I can write natural log as log base e of e to the x minus 1. Are my bases the same? Yes, so my answer turns out to be x minus 1. Not too bad here, but let's look at the next ones. We're going to do this problem, okay, using these properties. So we have log base 3 of 27 squared. Are my bases the same? And the answer is no. So what do we try to do? We try to make the bases the same. So let me change colors. Here we go. So log base 3 squared. Is there any way I can make 27 with a base 3? 3 to what power will give you 27? Well, 3 to the first is 3. 3 to the second is 9. 3 to the third is going to give us 27. So we still need to simplify. Log base 3 of 3. And what happens when you have an exponent to another exponent? You multiply, so that gives us 6. Are the bases the same now? Yeah, log base 3 of 3 to the 6 is going to be 6. Let's look at this next one. Are the bases the same? Well, this is 625 to the first. Are my bases the same? And your answer is no, so we make them the same. So log base 5 of 5 to what power is going to give us 625? Well, 5 to the first is 5. 5 to the second is 25. 5 to the third is 125. 5 to the fourth is 625. Now, are the bases the same? And your answer is yes, so my answer is just going to be 4. Good. All right. So next, we are going to find the inverse functions. Remember, the first thing to find the inverse of a function, we have to switch the x and the y. Switch the x and the y. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the y x equals log base 5 of y. Okay, so now we're going to continue and we're going to write it out as my base is 5 to what's my exponent? It always equals the exponent. X equals y. So y equals 5 to the x would give us our inverse. Same thing here. Change the y to an x and the x to a y. And we're always going to solve for y. So the first thing I need to get rid of is this 8. So subtract 8 from each side. X minus 8 equals log y. What am I going to have to do to get the y by itself? Well, if it's in log form, we're going to change it to exponential. So I need to remember that there is a 10 right here. Remember, if it doesn't have anything, it's a 10. So it's going to be 10 to the x minus 8 equals y, or y equals 10 to the x minus 8. Okay, now we're going to find these inverses doing the same thing. First, we switch the x and the y. X equals e to the 4y. So if it's an exponential form and we're solving for y and it's an exponent, it's hard to do. So we're going to have to change this to log form. So we're going to have log, what's my base? It's e of x to equal 4y. The natural log of log base e is, I said it, the natural log of x equals 4y. Divide each side by 4, and y turns out to be the natural log of x all over 4 as your answer. And we're going to do the same thing over here. X equals e to the y plus 7. Got to change this to log now. So log base e of x equals y plus 7. Subtract 7, subtract 7. What does log base e turn into? The natural log of x. I want to put that in parentheses because it's not going to take the natural log of x minus 7. We've got to put the 7 on the outside equals y. So y equals the natural log of x minus 7. Okay, so what is a logarithm? It is the inverse of an exponential. How do you switch from exponential to log? So if I have y equals b to the x, I can say it's going to be log base b of y equals x, switching back and forth. Okay, your assignment on this is 6.3b in Big Ideas. See you all tomorrow, and don't forget to be doing your homework nightly so you can stay up to date. Get those percentages up.